Just took a bit longer to find my way home. Chapter 14. You can rest now.
Who are you?
Tom shouted at the man who appeared to be leading the charge.
Commander Walters. And I am only going to ask this once. Step away from the alien, Mr. Wachowski.
Tom?
Sonic whispered, horrified.
It'll be okay.
He responded, not taking his eyes off the military officer. Tom raised his hands and slowly began to step a few feet away from Sonic. He couldn't afford to take a risk. Not when there were so many loaded rifles aimed their way.
Good choice.
Commander Walters said with a stiff nod.
All right. Seize the extraterrestrial.
Walters said with a curt nod. Before either Tom or Sonic could move, a soldier shot a cannon and a net landed on the hedgehog. Volts of electricity consumed the hedgehog. He cried out in distress as his body convulsed.
Hey, stop!
Tom shouted and ran to free the teen. A few soldiers grabbed him by the arms to hold him back. He fought, kicking and shoving. Another sound of a gunshot echoing throughout the streets stopped the scuffle.
Enough!
Commander Walters shouted, a pistol aimed at the sky in hand. Tom glared daggers at the man.
Bring him.
Hey, you can't just take him as if he belongs to you.
And he doesn't belong to you either.
The commander replied with a sneer.
He's a child. What do you plan on doing? Experimenting on him just like that crazy scientist?
Tom retorted, feeling anger consume his being. That caused Walters to pause.
He was one of yours, wasn't he?
We did not know he was in possession of the alien. We sent him out to find the source of that blackout that swept across the entirety of the West.
And now you want to take him back as your own? You're no better than that psycho.
It was silent. The soldiers looked to their commanding officer, waiting to see how he would react. Tom, however, was not done. He had promised to protect Sonic. He wasn't going to stop now.
That alien you have there? His name is Sonic. He's only 13 years old. He loves baseball and sunflowers. He was experimented on by one of your own, and has had to take care of himself since leaving his home planet.
Do you think some sob story will change my mind?
He is a child.
Mr. Wachowski, I'm trying to do what is best for this country.
He's not a threat.
But if other countries find out about him, then what? Already, our special intelligence forces are trying to make sure videos of him running around San Francisco don't leave these borders. Keeping him in our custody is best for his safety.
His safety? You haven't even thought about what he might want.
Mr. Wachowski, it's not about what he wants. It's about making sure everyone else remains safe.
Commander Walters declared, growing tired of arguing back and forth.
Fine. Go ahead. Take him. But don't be surprised if word gets out that your crazy doctor was responsible for the damaging casualties here.
Tom held his breath, seeing how the commander paused again. Tom seriously hoped he had the commander where he wanted him. The last thing he needed was for them to actually take Sonic away. He might never see the kid again.
Please, Commander, can we at least try and find a middle ground?
It was dead silent. Everyone once again looked toward Walters, waiting for his response. Tom watched the commander glance at an unconscious Sonic. How he lay in the net as if he were a wild animal. As if he were prey. The commander's face ever so slowly softened. He sighed. Walters turned to face the men holding Tom captive.
Release him.
The men let go of Tom and took a few steps back to give him some space. Tom rubbed his slightly bruised arms.
Release the alien as well.
Tom stared at the commander in shock. He wasn't expecting it to work. But he certainly wasn't going to complain. The soldier holding the net carefully put it down on the ground. Tom ran up to the net and threw it off the kid. His kid.
I'll be keeping in touch, Mr. Wachowski.
Commander Walters said. He faced his troops and nodded.
All right. Let's move out.
And slowly, they emptied out of the streets of San Francisco, leaving just the two of them on the road. Tom let out a breath he didn't know he had been holding. Everything seemed so loud with the sounds of sirens, honks of car horns, and the faint roar of a jet engine filling the air. Yet at the same time, as he gazed upon the injured hedgehog, everything seemed to grow quieter. As if he had been dunked underwater, the city ambience sounding muffled. Reality finally caught back up to him. He gently lowered himself to Sonic's chest, hoping to hear a heartbeat. He sighed in relief, hearing the fast thumps of his heart.
Hang on, Sonic.
He muttered and ran to his police cruiser. He got in and headed towards the vet, not knowing where else to go. His ears rang and his heart thumped away in his chest. There was a distant ache that seemed to get louder the more aware he became. The ringing slowly began to clear, and it didn't feel like his heart was pounding right next to his ear. He slowly opened his eyes. It was dark. Not too dark, though. He could see light coming from behind the curtains from the window on the wall to his left. It was then that his other senses slowly began to come back. He was lying on something soft. He moved his right hand a bit to see if he could try and feel what he was laying on without agitating the many wounds he was sporting. It was rather soft. He could sort of make out a shape. Sonic froze. He was sleeping in a large dog bed. And before he could even wrap his mind around that, his body began to announce that he was in pain as aches began to pound in time with his heart. He felt stiff and super sore. Dull and sharp sensations stabbed through each limb of his body. He couldn't help the groan that left him as it hit him like a tidal wave. He heard the door to whatever room he was in open. Maddie gasped, seeing him awake. She quickly walked over with a bottle of water in hand.
Sonic, hey, how are you feeling?
Hurts.
Was all he could manage. His tongue felt heavy and a headache began to throb behind his eyes.
I know. I wasn't sure what type of pain medication would be best for you, but I do have something if you want to try it.
Sonic nodded. Maddie walked over to a counter on the other side of the room and grabbed a plastic bottle. He could hear her open it and pour something into her hand. She walked back over with 2 white pills in hand.
Do you know how to swallow pills?
Sonic had never done such a thing before, but he would try it. He shook his head.
All right.
Maddie handed him the water bottle she had brought.
Put the pills in your mouth, then take a sip. You'll swallow the pills along with the water. Got it? If you don't think you can take them, let me know. I can ask Tom to buy something in liquid form.
Sonic nodded, feeling a warm sensation curl in his chest.
Thanks.
He mumbled with a small smile. Maddie gently cupped his face with her free hand.
Of course.
She handed him the pills and he took them with the water. She helped him settle back in bed. Maddie sighed, running a hand through her hair.
How long have I been out?
He asked, his voice a bit more clear after a bit of water.
A good 9 hours. You were in rough shape. Still are.
Sonic frowned, noticing someone missing.
Where is Tom?
He mumbled with a small smile. Maddie gently cupped his face with her free hand.
He probably won't be home until later tonight, depending on how bad the damage is from the fight.
Sonic's eyes widened and he curled a bit into himself. Right. He had caused that fight. He had caused people to get hurt and buildings to be damaged, and what if people had died because of him? He didn't realize he had begun to cry until Maddie gently wiped away his tears with her thumbs.
What's wrong? Does something hurt?
I messed up.
Messed up what?
I got people hurt and destroyed things, and what if people got killed? It would be my fault.
Hey, last I checked, you weren't the one who was purposefully targeting innocent civilians, manning guns and launching missiles.
Maddie said, gently lifting his chin so he could look into her eyes. Sonic looked away. Maddie gently wiped away a few more tears.
You didn't purposefully cause any damage. It's that crazy man's fault. You hear me? Don't be so hard on yourself,
she said, taking one of his hands in hers and squeezing gently. Sonic nodded.
Good.
Sonic relaxed in the small bed.
How badly was I hurt?
Maddie gently rubbed circles into the back of his hand.
Broken ribs, bruised organs, twisted ankle, gunshot wounds, electric burns.
Maddie spat each word out like it was poison. Maddie sucked in a deep breath and let it out.
But the most important thing is that you're here right now and you're fine. You'll make a full recovery from what I can tell. You have a fast healing factor, but you are staying in bed until you're fully healed.
Sonic groaned. Maddie smirked.
Groan all you want, but it's for your own good.
This is awful, Maddie. Absolute torture.
Sonic replied dramatically, throwing an arm over his eyes for good measure. He smiled hearing her laugh.
So dramatic,
she said with a playful roll of her eyes. Her phone buzzed and she pulled it out of her pocket.
Tom is going to pick up some food for dinner. What are you feeling?
Sonic hummed and thought.
Surprise me.
You got it.
she said, typing out a reply before sending it to Tom. After, she gave him another checkup before settling back in her chair. That feeling that had settled in Maddie's chest when Tom sprinted into the vet a few hours earlier still hadn't left. She had been terrified when her husband burst through the doors, Sonic unconscious and badly wounded in his arms. She had quickly taken the hedgehog into her own hands and treated him with the help of a few of the other vets. She was just thankful they seemed to realize that now was not the time for questions and any could be asked later. Even now, as Maddie held Sonic's hand, that feeling still hadn't gone away. She had called him her kid earlier, and it just felt right. Sonic was hers. And the more she thought about it, the more she wanted to wrap him up in a protective hug. She could no longer deny that she didn't feel at least some sort of maternal feeling for the boy. She only wished she could have given the doctor and that military commander a piece of her mind for making her boy go through such agony. Sonic's eyes began to droop. The medicine was no doubt finally beginning to kick in, making him sleepy. She gently squeezed his hand, grabbing his attention.
Get some rest, Sonic. I'll wake you up when Tom gets here with food, all right?
Sonic nodded, and it wasn't long before he had fallen asleep. Sonic awoke a little bit later to soft voices and something that smelled absolutely amazing. He slowly opened his eyes and saw Tom and Maddie both quietly chatting as they ate something. Tom glanced his way and his eyes widened, briefly, relief obvious in his gaze, before he settled with a gentle smile.
Hey, Sonic, how are you feeling?
Sonic rolled over onto his side, fully facing Tom and Maddie with a small smile of his own.
Better than before.
You hungry?
Maddie asked as she grabbed something from a white paper bag. Sonic nodded. Tom helped him sit up and Maddie placed a white box in his lap. There was a logo of a restaurant on the top. Sonic opened it. His eyes lit up at what he saw. They looked like hot dogs, but there was something on top of the meat that was brown with cheese and onions on top.
What is it?
It's called a chili dog.
Tom said and handed him another box filled with French fries. Sonic didn't have to be told twice as he took a bite. His eyes lit up as if he had just tasted pure gold. Tom and Maddie laughed.
I'm guessing you like it?
Sonic nodded quickly and shoved the rest of it in his mouth.
Whoa, slow down.
Tom said, taking away the now empty box with an amused smirk. Sonic swallowed.
Slow is not my thing, Donut Lord.
Sonic said as he began to devour his fries. Tom huffed out a laugh.
Yeah, you weren't kidding when you said you could go super fast.
When have I ever lied?
When you said that my singing was awful.
Sonic burst into laughter, holding his middle as he giggled.
It's true.
Is not.
However, Tom could not stay annoyed. He never was in the first place. His heart swelled hearing Sonic laughing. Even though it hurt just a bit seeing him bandaged up, it was still nice to just see the kid acting like a kid. Something the doctor and the government just couldn't understand. After dinner was eaten, they decided to head home. The ride back was silent. Maddie had given him some more pain medicine before they left, and it looked like Sonic was seconds away from falling asleep again as his eyes drooped and his head leaned against the window. Tom would look back in the rearview mirror now and then to check up on the boy. It was of no surprise when he finally drifted off and fell asleep. When they arrived home, they were both shocked to see their front door had been blown off its hinges and was instead on the ground in the hall. A wall was damaged, a light fixture was broken. The glass door leading to the backyard was cracked and a few vases, picture frames, and other house decor lay on the ground broken. They were surprised and incredibly relieved that it looked like nobody had attempted or steal anything. For now, though, the child asleep in Tom's arms was more important. They walked to Sonic's room and carefully deposited the sleeping hedgehog into bed. Maddie gently pulled the covers over his body.
Good night, Sonic.
Tom whispered. Maddie gently smoothed back a few quills and the two quietly left the room.